Murder style, y'all.
Insanity, insanity, whatever happened to humanity? Ooh.
Man. Sorry for the long wait, everybody. I had to do a lot of stuff in my room. A lot of things came up, but I'm back. I'm back with an interesting review to show you guys. We're going to talk about Spare Parts. I need to have a warning before I watch these type of movies. Anyway, Spare Parts is an action thriller survival horror film that has been directed by Andrew Hunt. It's Andrew Hunt. I had to make sure. That's in case if I got the last name wrong like I did a couple of my reviews. An all-girl band called the Miss 45 is lured into a trap where they are customized into battle warriors and forced to fight for their lives.
You guys are the real deal.
Show's not a show without a little bit of blood, am I right?
I thought this movie was okay. It was enjoyable at best. I have to give it that. This movie is not bad. I enjoyed it from start to finish, but man, this movie got some problems. Some pretty noticeable problems that you can't really overlook. But indie company, I really can't go hard on it because normally indie companies hit and they miss. This movie is like a double-edged sword. It hits hard, it does. It missed hard too. I wanted to really love this movie more than I really anticipated. That actually explains why a lot of people have not talked about this film. If you've never heard about Spare Parts, you're not really missing out. And if you have heard about this film, I'm pretty sure a lot of people can agree with me on my methods. The movie picks up at a very fair, tensing pace. And what I mean by that is, by this film being rated R, known for being very critique when it comes to, I'm sorry, I'm still having a hard time trying to put my mind thoughts together. I just got done watching this film. But what I was trying to say was that this film doesn't want to shy away of you being introduced to blood and gore. So in the beginning of the whole project, they show a one-legged girl pushing a cart full of limbs, arms, legs, you name it, it's all in that cart. And they just want to show you this part just so you can be aware of what's going to be in store for you if you continue this ride. And continuing this ride, we are introduced to the band, the main cast of the whole film, which is the... oh my God. The Miss 45. I think that's actually a pretty cool name for a girl band group. And the reason I'm saying that is because not only that the name has kind of like made me be like, wow, that's actually a pretty decent name, but their delivery is pretty cool too. They play a lot of good death metal, a lot of good alternative rock, and they showed that at the beginning of the whole scene where they're in the bar just busy singing and just getting things hooked up, but all hell breaks loose when one of the guys gets into the middle of the stage and tries to have his way towards one of the band members, and then the whole fight breaks out, and I don't mean a fight as in fists getting thrown in the air and people just getting hit. No, people get their eyes gouged out, people get brutally hurt, people get injured. I mean, I'm like, holy shit, man, is this a fight or is this a death battle already? Are we really doing this? But no, this is actually what happens when you go to a bad bar like this. Kind of the reason why I don't really go to bars to begin with, but it made me feel uncomfortable. It made me feel cringed. I was like, man, like these girls is really in the bad ropes. But at the same time, thankfully these girls can fight. They know how to fight because, man, I thought they was going to get their ass pummeled, but I was really feeling sorry for the guys that was fighting these girls. These girls was really fucking their asses up, and I was like, holy shit, they got this under control. At first, I was going to be like, okay, these girls are in a bad environment where these big, masculine, rugged guys can easily just take these girls out if if they also stepped against them. But these girls can fend for themselves. I was really surprised how much they was really fighting off these guys and brutalizing them. So I was like, okay, we need strong characters like this if this project is going to continue. And that's actually the major strength of this girl band, the Miss 45. Everything else about this whole cast, I don't even want to go to the whole names of these characters. I just want to go by the actions and just the motivations of how this project progressed through these characters. That was a major strength, was that they can basically fight off bad guys and take down people. Everything else was pretty lackluster, man. Like the chemistry towards each other, how they was bonding with each other, and above all, what made them be in the band in the first place. There's a lesbian couple, two girls, one of them is pregnant, and then there's two other girls, which is one of them is the leader, and the other one is like the choreographer or the writer, or just one of the people that it's kind of hard to explain. I don't really know much about like the whole leading tropes of bands and stuff like that, but she is like one of the side main members too. She's like one of those girls, like it's like like NSYNC or Destiny's Child, where people are like feeding off who should be the best member. That's what leads to those two characters besides the lesbian couple. And man, their chemistry is very bad. Their chemistry is terrible. And what makes matters worse is that when we're introduced to their their major motivations of these characters. Like one of the other girls, she has a boyfriend, and she acts a little bitchy. She acts a little more of a distant side of chick or whatever, and a lot of girls in this group doesn't like her because of that. But I kind of understand, because the leader of the group is a fucking atrocious slut, dude. Like she is a major sex bomb. I mean, she has sex with groupies, she has sex with strangers. I'm like, what is wrong with this chick? And one in the side leader of the group can't stand that, and the other girls don't want to see the reason why. I was completely on her side. The only thing that was good about this girl that was fucking everybody was the fact that she looks beautiful. She looks gorgeous. But she was giving me a lot of PTSD. She reminds me of this girl at my job. And she's a nice looking girl. Problem is, like, she fucks anything she touches. I don't care if she's watching this video. But man, dude, I'm just being dead ass, man. I was having like bad memorable vibes, and it was horrible when I seen her. What makes matters worse is that she is one of the main characters that we supposed to root for. I'll rest my case of how bad the pacing of the character development is on this film. It kind of makes me wonder, after all these girls having these issues when it comes to their connection, their agreements towards how they deal with things under pressure, and above all, how they keep the band together. It makes me wonder how they able to keep the band together in the first place out of all their differences that they're having a hard time getting over. This is a film. I shouldn't think of it too much, but I feel like if you're going to put things in a manuscript or put things in a production scale of us watching, you have to question yourself if this can make sense on the screen as it is on paper. That's the reason why I'm bashing hard on this project. Later on into the project, these girls get kidnapped, and this is where I really begin to feel at fault here, because lack of chemistry, lack of pacing, lack of me like understanding how these girls feel. When these girls get abducted and they end up getting themselves into a bad predicament, I didn't really feel sorry for them at all. They did not give me enough pacing, enough motivation, and enough innovation for me to like these characters. I didn't even have a favorite character. That's the sad part about it. And what makes matters worse is that after they get abducted and when they get their limbs and their arms and legs chopped off, I was like, damn. It was just a show shock value. But I did not feel no sorrow. I was not feeling like, man, these girls got to get out of here. They got to escape. They got to leave now. I did not feel that at all as this was continuing for them to have these type of... I just didn't feel it at all. Later into the project, after these girls get abducted and they get their limbs cut off, they get their limbs replaced with weapons. And this is when they get thrown into this death pit of destruction where they have to fight to survive. Now, this is the part where it was easily not to make sense. It was easily not making sense to me, because it's like, okay, these girls get kidnapped, they get thrown to the pit. How the hell was they chosen? I don't know why they end up being chosen, but to make it make sense, they get thrown into this pit to try to fight their way to survive for the audience's amusement, for the main Grand Master who was praising these battles for the so-called gods. that is watching them from above to see which one would win and which one is victorious so they can hold their crown to be unstoppable. That was the only thing that made sense to me. Everything else threw me out of the window, because when these girls tried to survive, I was expecting their reactions to them killing other people to survive. There was no reaction to that at all. I was expecting them to have more type of innovation of their reactions of when they got their limbs cut off. There was really no innovation at all. They was like, oh my God, it's gone. My big arm, my good arm is gone. Your good arm? Your good arm. There's a lot of sexual jokes, a lot of sexual references, a lot of sexual pause moments on this film. So when she said my good arm, I couldn't help but think, like, what did she mean by that? One of the characters. But yeah, there was no type of downtime of them acknowledging, like, damn, there's things that I can't do anymore since my body parts is gone. They wanted to throw all that away and let us get focused on the action, blood, and gore. And let's just say this is the part where I was entertained. The blood and gore was great. Fantastic. Gave me a lot of Quentin Tarantino vibes and a lot of horrific films when it comes to them not shying away of any type of up close and personal gory action. People get their heads cut off with chainsaws, and if you want to lose that when it comes to creativity, they get the top of their face cut off with chainsaws. People get their whole face like ran over by the wheel of motorcycles. It's so much blood and gore, creatively blood and gore in this whole film, to the point where I felt like I was watching a WWE mixture of Mortal Kombat. And the reason why I was comparing this to WWE, because the acting on here was so far-fetched. It felt like I was watching a WWE scene where they was just saying, oh, I will whoop your ass, I would do this right now. And I'm like, no, I'm not feeling it. Just kill the motherfucker already. I'm just being that ass. I was just not feeling the whole chemistry of the acting. That's the reason why I don't want to put the names out there, because by me putting the names of these characters that play as these people, that means I have to butcher their expertise, and I don't think they want me to do that. I'm just showing mercy. This is the beginning of the year. I'm trying to be on the good side right now before I really be on my critique side. And that's one of the major flaws of this film, is the fact that the lack of acting, the lack of chemistry, the lack of us feeling any type of innovation towards these characters. I felt like if we cared more about these characters, know more about what they were going through, everything would have been warranted and everything would have been paid off to the point where I was feeling their emotion. There's even some deaths of these girls too. These girls are not OP. There is some death on this film that I was surprised they did. I was surprised that there were some girls on this group that got killed off. But I didn't feel nothing. I was shocked that it happened, but I did not feel anything. It's like they have this whole thing written down correctly, but they just forgot to add the one thing: the emotion. Yeah, this is actually a very common flaw when it comes to horror slasher films like this, where characters are just pieces of meat just so they can add more shock value to the deaths of the whole project. I thought we was behind this, or at least me. I thought I was behind watching films like this. I try to dodge this type of shit. I will say that the ending was unpredictably satisfying. I thought the ending was going to make me feel like, okay, I knew this was going to happen. I knew this person was going to live. But no, this whole film pulls a 180. And I was really shocked. It was like a brief twist in a way. But at the same time, it left me with open arms for me to be like, okay, this is a satisfying ending. But not satisfying enough for me to want them to make a sequel. They was really sequel baiting on this film. But if y'all sequel baiting on Spare Parts 2, leave that part in the garage. That was a bad joke. That was a bad joke. Overall, this film was a chainsaw violent ride. But just like a chainsaw, it was rough around the edges to leave some certain parts of this whole project to make it more successful, make it more impactful, make it more enjoyable, and above all, make me recommend it to you guys, to you viewers and to you fans, or just to you newcomers that's in this channel. Welcome. I didn't want to start the year with this. I thought this was going to be a good film, but that's one good thing. That is actually the beautiful thing about this world, is it's very unpredictable. And I just want to hit me. When I watch bad projects like this, I'm always leaving myself with a choking method because I'm just nerve-wracked. But other than that, man, this movie is okay at best. I'm gonna have to give Spare Parts a C-. Well, that's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for more of my upcoming reviews and videos headed your way. This is Hugo, your critic teacher, and you guys have a good day.